Hey there. Hey, we're trying a new thing today. I got me a walking pad, and so we're going to try to do the walk and the talk at the same time. I've got it on really slow right now just to test how it goes, to see how much the camera wiggles and if I can, how well I can keep my balance. So we're just going to start off slow and see how it goes. I hope everybody's having a positive, peaceful, productive day today. It's about 2:15 local time. We'll get our daily mantra, even though it's feels like it's a little late in the day for a daily mantra. Maybe not. It can all be encouragement no matter what time of day it is. So come walk with me. Come talk with me. All right. Today is Saturday. I hope everybody's enjoying their day. I can't change which way the river bends, so I might as well strap in and enjoy this strange little boat ride. Anyone bring a cooler? So that's quite appropriate for Saturday. I had church service today. We had potluck, so there were coolers there. All right, now we'll get our grief affirmation for the day. So, enjoying the day, making the most of the day, each and every day, no matter what day it is. It doesn't have to be a weekend. Every day is a blessing. Every day that you're not 6 feet under is definitely a blessing. Your body works, your mind works. Even if it doesn't work at peak capacity, at least it's working. I'm going to have to try to find some way to raise my desk height. Whoa. Because my desk is way down here right now. So it will test my balance, but we'll see how it goes. I don't know. It may be a bad idea altogether. But I figure, I'm usually on here for about 2 hours when I do come on. So if I can walk the whole time, man, I'd be making some massive progress. So we're going to see how well the walking and the talking goes. And see, like instances like that, it just fell off. I just dropped that card. But fortunately, it does have a pause button. It comes with a little remote. So it does have a pause button. All right, I am not defined by my grief. Even though our grief, okay, unpause. And then it gives you a countdown. Okay, right now it's just at 0.6. Like I said, we're starting off slow, okay? We're walking and talking. We're definitely not running while we run our mouths. Okay, so even though our grief does change us, it affects who we are as people. Sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse. Usually both. Sometimes, depending on what kind of grief it is, it can really take us down a deep, dark rabbit hole. So, that's definitely not, ooh, that was smooth. I did that pretty good. I didn't even trip over my own feet. I'm a big YouTuber. Well, welcome. We're trying out a new thing today. We're walking while we're talking. I got a walking pad, and so right now we're starting off slow. Testing the theory, as you could say, as I'm on my next round of cards. And actually, now that I think about it, before we even go any further, I gotta grab a bottle of water because it's already obvious I am gonna need one. I can already see the pause button is gonna come in handy. Although, you know, you could just like turn it off and turn it back on. But this has like a main switch on the front of it. I guess I could kind of do like a little promo, but nonetheless, we won't do that right now. It has like a main switch on the machine itself that turns on the direct power. Okay, so our daily mantra of the day, I may have to start wearing my glasses too. I can't change which way the river bends, so I might as well strap in and enjoy this strange little boat ride. Anyone bring a cooler? I think that's very appropriate for it being Saturday, but as I said before, you know, it doesn't necessarily have to be the weekend to enjoy the day. All right, now we're going to pull from the Wild Offering Oracle. You know, and something that I'm realizing very quickly, this will definitely test my breathing. Binding. Ooh. What are you binding? Like, are we binding twigs, or are we binding souls, or, you know. Anyways. All right, Wild Offering Oracle. We are not defined by our grief. Even in those, building the ability to find happiness, even in those moments of grief. You know, grief is something that can come and go in the blink of an eye, and usually does. It's not, oh, dang. I can already see that's something that's going to be kind of an issue. Let's see if I can get off without stopping it. Oh, yeah. Creative blocks and courage. If you are an artist of any kind, you can offer all work to the divine, making it God's alone. I offer this for the highest good to benefit the planet. Release me from any blocks and restrictions. May this serve all who need. So creative blocks, finding out, you know, admitting to yourself that you're dealing with creative blocks. I don't know what's going on with my throat. That didn't start till I came on here. And then courage. Oh, courage comes in many different shapes and sizes. Divine courage is not the absence of fear, but a nudge that says, keep going, do it, don't worry, all will be well. You have to get quiet enough to hear it. Dear Divine, may I feel your courage and your will. So finding your courage, even in those moments when it's hard. Having the courage to be happy and to find joy, even in those moments of grief. Going back to our affirmation, our grief does not define us. You know, what's coming to mind is a scene from the TV series, or not TV series, but series The Chosen. There's a scene in that series after John the Baptist has been beheaded. And it's Jesus and who was Peter's brother? Simon Peter, his brother, were having a conversation. And, you know, back then they had to do the 7 days of mourning. And he was talking about how John the Baptist could never stay solemn for 7 days straight. You know, there's different ways to mourn. And there's different ways to pay respect to the loved ones that we've lost. Yes, mourning them, missing them, you know, expressing that emotion is healthy. But it's also about allowing their memory to live on in healthy ways. You know, carrying their memory on through different things that maybe they taught you, or different things that they did when they were alive to kind of carry on their memory. Even just acknowledging those attributes within yourself and using them for the good of the people around you. You know, not only helping you, wow, that was quick, you become a better person, but using it to better the lives of the people around you. Third eye chakra, Sixth chakra, wisdom and discernment, represented by the color violet. I am open to understanding the spiritual truths behind the situations occurring in my life right now. I offer my wisdom to assist others along their path. Wow, what was I just saying? I trust in a higher source to guide me and to help others who ask for my guidance. Was God black? In my opinion, God is not a physical human form. It's an energy, Christ consciousness. So no, God is not black. God doesn't have skin. But that's just my belief. That doesn't mean you have to believe that. I practice discernment and listen deeply within for the truth. I choose to respond to rather than just reacting to situations, acting with clarity, courage, and conviction. Oh, I'm glad to hear you agree. Yes, Christ consciousness, it's an energy. He is in us and we are in him, and all together we create as a collective, if you want to say it that way. You know, we talk, that comes up a lot, us talking about different terminology that means the same thing, and unfortunately in a lot of cases it's the terminology that creates division. Do you believe God is our consciousness? Yeah, I mean, yes. We were all created in his image. Just as, I compare it to biblical scripture because that's what I was brought up in. But, Jesus told us that he is the Son of God and that he is just like us and we are just like him. We are all children of God, which means we are all gods. If you're born to a king, what does that make you? That makes you a prince or a princess, and one day you'll be a king or a queen. Same thing. We are all children of God, which means he lives within all of us, and the same energy that he is within us. It's what created us. And I mean, in reality, you could go even deeper, talking about, different timelines and different dimensions and, the story old as time. Oh, thank you. This, honestly isn't as awkward as I thought it would be until it comes to shuffling the cards. I'm going to have to find a way to elevate my desk. Like, get some boards to, lift it up to where I don't have to bend over to do that. But other than that, this actually feels pretty good. I can already see it's going to help me work on my breathing as well. So, nonetheless, if you can multitask. And it was sitting for that long is getting to where it really bothers me. So, I still have my chair nearby, so I could always switch them out. But nonetheless, okay, this is the newest deck that we got. I can't remember the name of it. When You Feel Bad, mindfulness cards. So we'll get one of these. I mean, who knows? I may not be able to hack it. I may not be able to go the whole video, but we'll try. It's a test. Can I do it? I've unfortunately, I have to take accountability for the fact that I kind of let myself go there for a while. So I've really got to do better. Are you in? I'm in Tennessee. the United States. All right, it says, when you feel stressed and anxious, everything is chaos. When you are rested, everything is as it should be. However, everything has been the same all along. Ooh, interesting. That's kind of like a little mind bender. Notice your anxious thoughts or state. What cues do your mind and body present when you are stressed or anxious? Next, remember in both mind and body what it feels like to be relaxed and calm. What cues do your body and mind present when you are in rest? How do these two states differ from each other? So basically, that going back, we talk about that a lot, about knowing your own energy. Taking the time to acknowledge your own energy, taking the time to acknowledge how you feel. Hold on, I'm going to adjust this camera a little bit. Ooh, I'm off the treadmill and it still feels like I'm moving. Okay, that might work better. So taking the time to notice the subtle changes in your energy between when you're stressed and anxious and when you're not. And being able to maybe notice those triggers sooner before it gets to be too much. You know, being able to discern your own energy and the effects that people, places, things, activities, foods, you know, music, anything that you consume in any way, shape, or form can affect your energy. It can affect your mood. It can affect how you feel, how your day goes. If you're constantly being, okay, example, you know, you're dealing with heartbreak, you know, you've ended a relationship, you're sad about it, you know, you're going through the motions, and all you're listening to is sad, drunk in my beer, you know, I messed it up and they won't let me fix it, you know, boo hoo hoo, you know, love me again crap. And don't get me wrong, some of that music is good, but if you listen to sad, depressing music all the time, it's going to keep you in a sad and depressed frame of mind. That is just a given. All right, we're going to pull Archangel Fire Oracle card. Last time we got Sophia, Xandophon, and Christelle, which is Christ, the Christ. We got Jeremiel on the bottom of the deck as we're getting started. As I'm doing this walking without any shoes on, I think I'm really starting to notice that one of my legs is longer than the other one. I think my right leg is longer than my left leg. I could be wrong, but I'm in desperate need of some alignment. It was 1933 on the timer when I looked. I'll let myself fall back a little bit. I really don't. The only time I need to be that close is when I'm doing the cards, really. Shorty, you broke the curse. That's the notification that I just got. I don't know who that was from, but 20 minutes exactly on the timer. 2 viewing, 2 likes. 222. All right, Archangel of Fire Oracle. We'll try for just one. Please don't fall on the floor. I hope everybody's having a positive, peaceful, productive day today. If not, I pray that your angels, ancestors, spirit guides, and of course the Most High help you with that today. I also pray that He clothes us in His armor from head to toe, that He strengthens our discernment and guides our steps as we go throughout this day. Nope, it fell on the treadmill. Who did catch it? I didn't catch it. I didn't make it in time. Fuel, the mermaid. I have the beginnings of a mermaid costume started. I have the tail. Of course, that's the most important part, right? So, all right. It's been a while since we've seen her, but we do see her on a pretty regular basis. Card number 19, which breaks down to a 10. She is an archangel of the turquoise ray. Chakra is the higher heart, top of the chest. Healing qualities, nurturing, unconditional love, non-judgment, clarity, cleansing. Crystal associations, turquoise, essential oils, blue chamomile, and spearmint. Star and constellation, Perseus, the hero. Her general message is cleansing. Her focused message is allow yourself to be cleansed of all that is no longer serving you in preparation for growth and renewal. If you are contemplating a detox or lifestyle change, this card is validation that you are on the right path. So if you were thinking of making some kind of, either doing a detox, doing some kind of cleanse, or cleansing, literally cleansing something out of your life, that's confirmation that, you know, that's something that would be good for you to do. There's all different kinds of detox if you really break it down and think about it. You know, you have a diet, going back to what we were talking about earlier, being aware of what you're consuming. You know, sometimes you need to detox from social media. Sometimes you need to detox from, you know, certain people, places, or things. It was 23:23 when I looked at the timer. You know, maybe there's people that you need to walk away from. All right, now we're going to pull from the Chakra Wisdom Oracle. Last time we got Workaholic and Destiny. We got Balance on the bottom of the deck as we're getting started. So, cleansing. Going back to the very beginning with the Wandering Heart Oracle, the Wild Offering Oracle, the creative blocks, having the courage to walk away from people, places, things, habits, ways of thinking, cleansing in general, detoxing. You can apply that to whatever area of life, you know, that you're focusing on. But having the courage to do that, having the courage to acknowledge to yourself that that's really what needs to be done, you know, accepting that truth, whatever it is, you know, whether it's detoxing your diet, detoxing your music, detoxing your life in general. So, really taking the time to, you know, maybe habits that you quit, that you picked up again, you know, maybe you're not doing it all the time, but it's reignited desire, so to say. You know, nipping that in the bud before it goes back into a full-blown addiction, whatever kind of addiction that is. Perseverance. You can and will persevere. Once you take the time to really acknowledge whatever it is. Isolation on the bottom of the deck and completion on the top of the deck. So going into isolation will lead to completion. Maybe that's the final test. You know, a lot of people can't handle being in isolation. Sometimes it takes going into isolation for us to see what we need to work on. The completion, this card is actually representing a death. It's a graveyard scene. See, you've got the two ancestors up here in the corner. It's like one ancestor that was already there is welcoming in the ancestor that's just passed away. Death and rebirth energy. Going back to our grief affirmation, I'm not defined by my grief. If you notice back here, the sun, it looks like it's rising. The sun is rising in the background. The sun will come up tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow. You know, in the hardest moments in life, we don't ever think that we'll see that light at the end of the tunnel, that we'll get to see the sunshine through the rain. But it's all a test. And, you know, we all go through different tests, but in reality, they're all for the same thing. And a lot of times it's our patience that's being tested. Like when you're forced to wait, when you don't have any other choice but to wait, how are you going to use that time? Are you going to take that time and use it, try to make the best out of the situation and use it in as positive of a way as you can? Or are you going to, you know, piddle that time away and waste it and possibly even cause more damage, you know? All right, isolation, blue, which represents the throat chakra. It's been a while. There we go. Isolation. Sapphire's blue. I've got all I could ever need right here. Inspiration. Do not wait for the right time to live your life. You are on the verge of something big, but if you do not participate, it could pass you by. Personal inquiry. Sapphire does not know the difference between isolation and solitude. Do you? Key ideas. Self-protection, making excuses, over-preparing, never feeling ready to take action. Keywords: celebration, experiences, and play. So having the courage, knowing that you have everything you need in this moment, and that sometimes it's our fear that keeps us in isolation. Okay, and then we got perseverance and completion. Those are both the color orange, which represents the sacral chakra, second chakra. Perseverance and completion. And these are right next to each other in the book as well. So we got both of them in there side by side. Carrot colored cloak, perseverance. Don't quit before the miracle. Inspiration. When we do our chosen work, we are serving the highest order. If we stop, We upset the universal balance. What you work toward will materialize. You may not see it, but it lies ahead. Oh, I'm holding the card backwards the whole freaking time. Sorry, guys. Personal inquiry. Can I ignore the feelings that would sidetrack me? Will I let go of fear and persevere? Yeah. Breaking through unseen help at work, feeling taken for granted, overcoming doubts. Key words: steadfast, success, and miracles. So knowing the difference between isolation and solitude, being able to push through the fear and persevere despite the fear. What did it say earlier? Going back to the courage from the Wild Offering Oracle. Courage isn't the absence of fear. Courage is the ability to push through the fear. All right, completion. Final sunset. Okay, so it's a sunset, not a sunrise. A life comes to a spectacular close. Inspiration. This is a reminder to cherish all the beauty in your life, including endings. Reflect upon your part in history and discover what you value most. Do not fear completion. Embrace it. Personal inquiry. Am I present in the moment? How do I respond to the idea of completion? Key ideas. Honoring your legacy. A natural ending to a grand adventure. A new beginning on the horizon. A new adventure, honoring those who give to us. Keywords: achievement, determination, and fulfillment. That kind of makes me go back to what I was saying earlier about our ancestors and carrying on their memory through the way we live our lives today. And if you notice, in this perseverance card, there's spirit with her there as well. So knowing that your angels, ancestors, spirit guides, the Most High, if you've recently lost someone, that could be something that kind of hits home for you, letting you know that they're okay, that your passed over loved one is safe with your other ancestors, and that you have ancestors here that are keeping you safe as well. All right. Now we'll pull from the Wandering Heart Oracle. I don't know if you guys can hear the music in the background or not. I have a little classical music playing in the other room for the dogs. Sometimes the station comes in this area and sometimes it doesn't. All right, Wandering Heart Oracle. Last time we got Alchemy, Redemption, and I Am. And we got Sacrifice on the bottom of the deck as we're getting started. Boundaries on the cut. Don't sacrifice your boundaries. Going back to the detoxing, people, places, things, environments. Don't get comfortable and don't settle in environments where people don't respect your boundaries. Don't sacrifice your boundaries for the sake of other people. Like, don't sacrifice your boundaries just to make somebody else happy. Tension, fallback, and free expression. 21, 35, and 16. I am on the bottom of the deck. Honeymoon on the top of the deck. I don't know, I'm feeling like I don't need to keep those. I don't usually. We'll keep going. Just one, please. Not on the floor. So, like, coming out of isolation. Having the perseverance to come out of isolation. Acknowledging and accepting the fact that that cycle is over. Going back to the completion energy. The chapter of isolation is over. Yes, embrace your solitude when you get it, but persevere through the feeling like you need to isolate yourself. Boy, that's a hard one. You know, depending on how long you stay in that isolation phase, we can get comfortable there. So that's a hard one to pull. You know, you have to pull yourself out of that bubble. You know, we spend so much time and energy creating that safe space that we're almost afraid to come out of it. Yeah, that's it. So we have to push through that. We have to persevere through that. Of course, it fell on the floor. Evil Eye, number 18. And then Honeymoon came back out on the bottom of the deck. And then Autopilot on the top of the deck. Getting out of that autopilot. You know, when we're in that isolation energy, we're definitely, for a lot of it, on autopilot. So number 9, number 12, and number 18. 12 breaks down to a 3. 18 breaks down to a 9. 39. You got also autopilot is number 9. So 9, 9. 3, 6, 9 energy. All right, autopilot. Find beauty in the present. Abstraction. Detachment. That also goes back to the detox energy, the detachment. Here, you are deeply centered, unconcerned, and unprovoked with the world around you. There's no need to blink out of this state of being. Your energy is neutral, neither welcoming nor standoffish. To some degree, you are stuck, and to another, you are liberated. What were we just talking about? This is your homecoming. Pleasurable fortune greets you at the door. Anxiety has no status nor blessings here. What did we get at the very beginning where with our mindfulness card about anxiety and stress? Life is abundant because you have claimed it to be, or so it shall be. There is no desire to adjust the past, nor govern the future. The diligence that you possess and the empathy you hold for others speaks for itself. You have no apprehension moving forward. Your confidence is steadfast. You're moving through the world declaring love and cheer, knowing that your efforts will manifest tenfold. We already talked about that already. About, you know, helping others, knowing that loving ourselves is in turn gonna allow us to share that love with others. I'm probably gonna end up having to get another bottle of water. All right, 12, honeymoon. This chapter is titled Euphoria. Cloud 9, desire. Nothing feels better than falling in love. The early stages are always the most memorable, but also the quickest. Seize each moment of every day. Pay attention to your lover. Communicate as effectively as you know how. Express your wants and your needs and ask your partner to do the same. Free each other. Dress up, take pictures, create scrapbooks, poems, make playlists for one another, find time for intimacy. Most importantly, never set unrealistic expectations of yourself or others. Excuse me. You are immersed in delight. You have fallen in love again. You found someone to be soft with after what feels like a lifetime of numbness. If single, you have fallen in love with your softness again. You have faith in the power that delicacy holds. You're treating your life like a playground, having a ball, living in curiosity. Work is picking up, ideas are flowing, and you feel like the you that you love the most. So going back to what we got earlier with the Wild Offering Oracle and the creative blocks. So the perseverance, the courage, that the autopilot, that all comes, even the fuel with the cleansing and the detox energy. Moving into a new phase, the death and rebirth energy. Evil Eye, number 18. Practice protection rituals, deception, and intention. So keeping your eyes open, being aware of snakes in the grass, mum's the word. Don't tell people your plans. Don't be out here boasting and bragging, or, keep it to yourself. You never know when snakes are hiding in the grass. As much as we'd all love to believe that there is no one out there who has our worst interests at heart, it simply isn't true. Someone could be paying close attention to your energy. Someone could be paying close attention to your every move right now, even if they aren't vocal about it. Whether it be a stranger who follows you online or a person in close proximity to you, there are snakes hiding in the grass. You are spiritually covered. Animosity will not thrive here. However, take into account that you may not know your secret critic directly, and you may be sharing too much. You are giving too many details publicly to hate on. Hold back. Think before speaking, and do not overshare. Keep both your wins and your losses to yourself. That goes back to what I said already. Be careful. That even, it's 44, it was 44:28 when I looked at the timer. That goes back to the fuel, the cleansing energy, detoxing people, places, and things that no longer serve you, that don't have your highest good in mind. Being aware of that, being cautious. All right, now we'll skip to the other end. We started with the big cards first. Let's pull Angels of Abundance. Last time we got Bountiful Nature, Declutter, and Power of Prayer. You know, it's always a good time to detox, to declutter, to, you know, sweep out from underneath the bed, if you, so to speak. I need to kind of back the camera up a little bit, because when I bend forward, I'm too close. We'll get it eventually. There we go. That's better. Now I'm not like all up in your face when I'm bending over. It does seem to wobble a little bit more that way. Let me see you wobble, wobble. Let me see you shake it, shake it. Oh my God, that's so from the 90s. Anyways, all right. Angels of Abundance. Helen Keller has been came up a lot yesterday. Also, the Hear No, See No, Speak No Evil. I've been seeing that a lot here lately as well, too. Angels of Abundance. Partnership. That's basically confirmation on the honeymoon card. Exercise to increase your energy and manifestation abilities. Shut up. Yes. That's hilarious. Thank you, Spirit. I needed a good laugh. Visualize abundance in all forms. That is hilarious. That's the first time we've ever gotten that card. All right, so what actually came out was partnership. Allow healthful, supportive partnerships into your personal life and career, and both parties benefit as a result. You are receiving help from heaven and from a person who brings needed skills and resources. So, I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic partnership. It could be a business partnership or just a community partnership in general. Exercise to increase your energy and manifestation abilities. That's hilarious. The key to manifesting quickly is to have very high energy levels. And the easiest way to increase them is through physical exercise. Choose a fun and meaningful activity so that you'll look forward to exercising and it becomes its own reward. That is hilarious. Visualize abundance in all forms. God gave you such great spiritual power that everything you visualize eventually becomes reality. Hold a steady vision of that which is beautiful, healthful, positive, and filled with blessings, and that is what you will experience. So, visualizing, going back to what we were talking about at the beginning with the, the detoxing and the cleansing and everything else. For a lot of people, it helps to be able to visualize something if you write it down. So, writing down maybe the things that have a positive effect on you, and then the things that have a negative effect. Going back to what we were talking about earlier with the creative blocks, are there people, places, environments where that drains you of your creative energy? Taking the time to analyze that. Maybe, as you're in isolation, make sure that you take the time to do that. All right, now we'll pull from the Namaste deck, the Stress Less deck. Last time we got the Power of Breath. Yeah, the only time really that the height is an issue is when I'm shuffling. But that's all right. I hope everybody's having a peaceful, positive, productive day today. It started off a really nice morning, and then, just out of nowhere, we got hit with this rainstorm. But thankfully, it didn't last very long. But then when the sun came back out, it was very extremely humid, which made it very uncomfortable outside. All right. I caught it that time. All right. Acknowledge what you do. Acknowledge what you do. Take accountability. Pat yourself on the back. Don't wait for other people to do it for you. Be proud of yourself. How many things do you actually accomplish in a day? Do you even remember all of them? Take a day and be conscious of everything you start and finish. You will be amazed at how many things you actually do, from small to large tasks. Take a brief moment to acknowledge every completed task. At the end of the day, thank yourself for what you have accomplished. There may be things that were not completed, but there is always tomorrow. Never mind that right now. Be grateful for what you were able to accomplish today. This will add motivation to do even more tomorrow. So, let the haters hate. Love on yourself. Be proud of yourself. You may not be where you want to be, but at least you're not where you used to be type energy. Yeah. Keep going. Don't let other people's, going back to what we talked about earlier about the boundaries and, respecting your own boundaries and walking away from people that don't respect them. Pat yourself on the back. Be proud of how, going back to childhood wounds and healing and stuff. I always used to get really hung up on the fact that neither one of my parents ever told me that they were proud of me. Ever. It didn't matter. It didn't matter how good I was. It didn't matter how bad I was. I was always a disappointment. I was always a failure. And when you're raised up thinking about yourself like that, that's a really hard thought pattern to break. you know, and it's honestly, I don't think it's something that you ever like fully 100% overcome. I think there will always be moments of like doubt and insecurity when those thoughts will come back up. But that being said, I think if we keep this set up, I'm going to have to change my background. It's almost kind of disorienting to me to have all that going on back there and with me moving. I don't know, with me seeing it in the camera, kind of messes with me a little bit. All right, angel numbers. 99, rebirth. Boom. Bam. We got 99 in the Wandering Heart Oracles when we broke them down. And we got the death and rebirth energy with the Chakra Wisdom Oracle and the completion. And with the autopilot, really. Rebirth. On the bottom of the deck, we have intuition, 6464, which breaks down to 1010. And 6, balance. Focus on self first. Number 1 is also showing itself. And 33, anxiety. We already got the message about anxiety. Check yourself. If you need a break, take a break. Love on yourself. Heal. Isolate. If you not isolate, find solitude. It doesn't have to be isolation. Just find those moments of solitude when you can. Renewal, transformation, decision, future, growth, and new beginnings. This is a time of renewal and rebirth, indicating you are close to a major decision that will shape your future. Embrace the transformation and prepare for the path ahead. What is one major decision that I am facing? And how can I prepare myself to make this choice in alignment with my true self and future goals? What did I say at the very beginning of the video when I was talking about getting into alignment? I was literally talking about seeing a chiropractor, but there's all different forms of alignment. And in reality, most of them affect the others. So reflect on the areas of your life that are undergoing change and consider how these transformations can lead you to make a significant choice that will positively impact your future. We talked about all that already. 64, intuition, inner knowing, trust, awareness, mindfulness, reflection, and clarity. Cultivate mindfulness daily to strengthen your intuition. Spend time in quiet reflection, focusing on your breath, and let your mind settle into stillness. What is my intuition telling me about the current situation? How can I better listen to my inner voice? Dedicate a few minutes each day to mindfulness or meditation, allowing your inner voice to guide you without distraction. Trust the feelings and insights that arise. And then we got 6, balance. Peace, communication, support, reflection, harmony, and stability. If you're struggling with family or those you live with, this number serves as a reminder to seek peace, communication, and support. Reflect on your life and consider what balance truly means to you. In what areas of my life do I need to cultivate more balance and harmony? Take a moment today to have an honest and open conversation with a family member or housemate to restore peace and balance in your home. Okay, that being said, I've got to go get another bottle of water because my mouth is super dry. Lesson learned. And it's so weird because when you step off the walk pad, it feels like you're still on it. I feel like I'm floating. Ooh, okay. All right. Let me go ahead and remove this remote. All right. Let's see how far we are right now. Oh, hold on. I have to unpause it. 60 minutes and 30 seconds. So an hour. I don't know what my distance is. I don't know. I'll have to look at that later. Okay. Now we'll pull from the Celestial Insights. Okay. Last time we got Tree, Soul Happy, Rekindle Connection, and Gratitude. We got Link, Attract on the bottom of the deck, and Healing on the top as we're getting started. I know, my hair's kind of cray-cray. I rode my bike to church today. And I didn't wear my helmet either, so it's all kinds of wind blown. One more shuffle. I will say one thing, it's making me sleepy. It was 1:02:23 on the timer when I looked. I've been seeing a lot of 10:10 lately. 10:10, 1:11. I think there was even a couple times where I saw 12:22. Dang. Caught it. Commitment. What? All right, so we already have partnership and honeymoon out here. Now we have commitment that came out. We got sacred union on the bottom of the deck. Past life underneath that. Let go love on the top of the deck. Boundaries again on the top of the deck underneath that. A lot of partnership energy out here. That old saying, if you love them, let them go. If they come back, it's meant to be. That's not necessarily always the case. Don't fall for that crap. You know, like sometimes they're coming back because they need a place to sleep. All right, commitment. Commitment's what originally came out. Commitment is the key to long-term success. Are you hesitating to make a decision? Commit fully to a path, and you'll see the results of your dedication. So going back to what we were talking about earlier, about really committing to whatever change you're wanting to create, truly committing to that. Sacred union. Two powerful forces are uniting, whether in a relationship or within yourself. This union brings energy and growth. Embrace this connection. It will lead to deeper understanding and transformation. And then we got Let Go Love. There's a butterfly in this picture. Letting go of past love opens the door to new possibilities. Are you holding on to an old relationship? Release it and you'll find peace and the potential for new love. Going back to the detoxing and the cleansing energy. Letting go of people, places, and things, mindsets that hold you back, that no longer serve you. All right, now we're going to pull from the Mystical Dream deck. Last time we got Coma, Sword, and Love. We got Mentor on the bottom of the deck as we're getting started, and Unicorn on the top of the deck as we're getting started. This deck is meant to help us learn about our dreams, the meanings of the messages that we get in our dreams. This is still a relatively new deck. One more shuffle. All right. Stars. Stars in the night sky serve as beacons guiding you on your journey. If stars appear in your dream, they remind you that even though your current path might seem dark, you are not alone. What did we talk about earlier about seeing the light at the end of the tunnel? The universe is pointing the way. The stars invite you to release your fears, let go of worries about the future, and look ahead with an open mind, as there are limitless possibilities and revelations waiting for you. Fox on the bottom of the deck. You could see that as a snake in the grass energy. The fox represents clever wisdom and adaptability, reminding you not to rely solely on intuition, but to consider the smartest strategy and subtle thinking when faced with complex situations. It also suggests that some truths are not immediately obvious and require deeper observation and insight to uncover their underlying motives and goals. Anxiety was under the fox. Then you got Angel on the top of the deck. Angel symbolizes protection, divine guidance, and unconditional love. Dreaming of an angel suggests you are supported by a higher spiritual force. It reminds you that you are not alone, with guidance and love available, especially in difficult times. The angel encourages trust in your spiritual path and openness to the love and peace the universe offers. And then Door was under that. So stars, fox, and angel. Highlighting anxiety and doors. Going back to the fear of change. Going back to persevering through the isolation, reaching a completion of that isolation phase. Knowing that you can obtain solitude without isolation. All right, now we're going to pull from the Echoes of the Soul Oracle. This is the 2-part deck. Last time we got The Weight of the Worlds, The Quiet Story, The Ethereal Bloom, and The Crimson Door. Once again, the door energy. For me, in a lot of cases, doors represent decisions. But also that old saying, you know, where it talks about if you've been knocking on the same door for a long time and it doesn't open, you know, maybe that door's not meant for you type thing. So, you know, it's 1:10 when I looked at the timer. I tell you what, you wouldn't think that walking this slow would make you so tired, but yeah, like I can feel myself getting tired. Look at that. The weight of the worlds came back out and shattered perspective. Ooh. Reflections on the bottom of the deck, number 36. Once again, 369 energy. Aftermath, number 28, which breaks down to a 10, which is a number of completion. Completion, confirmation. Wow. So number 19, which breaks down to a 10. Number 28, which breaks down to a 10. Number 31, which breaks down to a 4. And number 36, which breaks down to a 9. Because there's so many, we won't read the whole card. These cards have long messages. We'll just hit the keynotes. All right, weight of the worlds. Key themes: responsibility, introspection, cosmic connection, personal alignment, and releasing burdens. Guidance. This card encourages you to assess the emotional, mental, and physical responsibilities you've taken on. Some may be vital to your growth, but others could be unnecessary weights you carry out of obligation or habit. The weight of the worlds invites you to realign your inner universe, assuring that your energy flows freely toward what truly matters. By releasing what no longer belongs in your orbit, you create room for balance. Double confirmation on the balance, clarity, and renewal. Wait a minute. Trust that letting go is an act of strength, not weakness, and that your inner harmony is essential for navigating the path ahead. The affirmation: I release the burdens that are not mine to carry. My inner universe aligns with balance, clarity, and purpose. So, letting go. Letting go of burdens that are not yours to carry. Letting go of responsibility that's not yours. It was 1:13:33 when I looked at the timer. All right, now we'll get number 28. Aftermath. I'm pretty sure this is the first time we're seeing this card. Key themes: resilience, survival, processing trauma, healing, renewal, strength, and recovery. Guidance. This card acknowledges the challenges you faced and the emotional weight you may still be carrying. Aftermath encourages you to pause, reflect, and prioritize your well-being. You've survived. Now it's time to focus on healing and rediscovering your inner strength. Be gentle with yourself as you process your experiences and explore the lessons they hold. Transformation is possible when you allow yourself the time and space to mend, release, and rise anew. The affirmation: I honor my strength and resilience. In healing, I find renewal. And from pain, I create growth and transformation. All right, and then we got 31 31 shattered perspective. Key themes: chaos, transformation, breaking illusions, reevaluation, clarity through disruption. Guidance. This card appears when your life or perspective feels fractured, urging you to shift your focus from what has been lost or disrupted to what can be gained. Shattered perspective invites you to release old frameworks and illusions that no longer serve you. This is a time of transformation and rebuilding. Where can you redefine your understanding of yourself, your situation, or the world? Trust that even in chaos, hidden patterns and opportunities for growth are waiting to be uncovered. Affirmation. I embrace the clarity that emerges through chaos. Wait a minute. I embrace the clarity that emerges through chaos. From the fragments of disruption, I create a new and transformative vision. So, going back to those creative blocks, and that energy we were talking about earlier about, you may not be where you want to be, but at least you're not where you're used to be, trying to find out what those creative blocks are and breaking through them. And embracing the new ideas that come from the unexpected changes. Like I said earlier, a lot of times changes happen unexpectedly, and we just kind of have to bob and weave and figure it out as we go along. And so being able, going back to what I said before as well, with the grief and the still being able to function through the grief, and maybe even transforming that grief into the power that pushes you forward in whatever change is occurring. All right, then we got 36 reflections. Key themes: introspection, solitude, mirrored realities, self-awareness, choices, and inner truth. Everything that's already come out here. These cards are literally confirming everything that's already shown up today. Guidance. This card calls you to slow down and embrace introspection. Reflections speaks of the power of self-awareness and clarity that comes from honestly examining your actions, thoughts, and patterns. Consider whether your outward projection aligns with your inner truth, and whether the choices you make reflect the person you aspire to be. This is not about self-criticism, but about creating harmony and authenticity in your life. By facing your reflection with compassion, you open the door to alignment and growth. Going back to what we talked about earlier with the balance, finding the balance. The affirmation: I embrace the truth of my reflection, aligning with my inner and outer worlds with clarity and compassion. So having compassion for yourself, going back to what we talked about earlier about, patting yourself on the back. Don't wait for somebody else to come along and, give you praise. Give yourself praise. It is a form of self-love. And we talk about it often that the better we love ourselves, the better the people around us are going to love us. And if they don't, then they're not really our people, are they? All right, now we're going to pull from the Nature Seasons Oracle. We got, after this, we got 3 more. We got the Affirmators, the Bird Allies, and the Mary Magdalene. Okay. Last time we got Full Moon, Ocean, Fire, and Autumn Equinox. We got Meteor on the bottom of the deck and Hope on the top. 1/20/20 when I looked at the timer, 21/22 as I was saying it. Didn't I say something earlier about 2020? Was that today? I don't think that was today. That might have been today, but I don't know. I know I was talking about the number synchronicities earlier. Okay. Nature Seasons Oracle. Whoa. Ooh, let's take a break for a second. Winter solstice, peace, and wolf. Winter solstice says introspection and rebirth. Peace says inner tranquility. Aw. And wolf says guidance and loyalty. Winter solstice. The winter solstice marks the time of introspection and rebirth. 1/22/12 on the timer. Let me actually slow this down a little bit. Oh, is that as slow as it goes? Oh, that's as slow as it goes. Okay. Never mind. That's as slow as it goes. All right. As the longest night begins to fade, embrace the opportunity to shed old patterns and prepare for new beginnings. This is a time of transformation where the seeds of renewal are planted for the journey ahead. Winter solstice, introspection, and rebirth. Triple confirmation on the rebirth energy. All right, peace, inner tranquility. Peace comes from inner tranquility. Today, seek out what brings you calm. Let go of stress and anxiety and feel the peace within. No matter the external circumstances, a peaceful mindset will guide you to the clearest answers. What did we talk about earlier with our mindfulness card? All right, and then wolf, guidance and loyalty. The wolf represents wisdom and loyalty. It leads with intelligence and stays loyal to its pack. Today, trust your inner wisdom and intuition. Loyalty will bring you strength and stability, helping you face challenges with confidence. So, maybe it's a little different than what I thought. Maybe persevering in the isolation. Because sometimes we need, but even still going back to the knowing the difference between the isolation and the solitude. All right. Now we got the Affirmators deck. Last time we got self-love, playfulness, and gentleness. Affirmators. Self-help without all the self-helpiness. I like their cute little cartoons that they have on here. So really focusing on the completion of one phase, going into the rebirth of another, whether that's with yourself and just in a new chapter, or whether that's a new partnership of some kind. Knowing that you can't carry the baggage from the past with you into this new chapter. Just one, please. Just one. Ultimate potential. Manifestation on the bottom of the deck. Perseverance. Double confirmation on the perseverance. Unlimited potential with manifestation and perseverance. There's unlimited potential. I choose to live a life of my fullest potential. I trust that this will draw me towards experiences and people that support my growth and accomplishment. Tuning into this frequency, I now reach higher heights than I ever thought possible. Knowing that's an option, why would I have ever tuned in to anything else? I'm looking at you, smooth jazz and talk radio. So, seeing the ultimate potential in yourself, despite the setbacks, despite the grief, despite the creative blocks, embracing and persevering in order to manifest the life that you want, whatever that life is for you. All right, now we're going to pull from the animal allies. Last time we got goose, kestrel, and blue jay. We're just going to get one this time. 127.34 on the timer. Okay, so I think the walking and talking at the same time worked out pretty good. I may not necessarily do it every time, but I think it's a nice option. I didn't fall on my face, so that's a good start. All right, animal allies, 1, please. No, not 1. We got 2. Woodpecker and meadowlark. Woodpecker and meadowlark. It's been a while since we've seen woodpecker. I don't know if we've ever actually gotten meadowlark. I think we have. All right, woodpecker. Being in sync with the natural world, courage, motivation, a second wind, discernment, restructuring old habits and routines. Woodpecker wisdom. Smart workarounds are always available. You simply need to look for them and decide when to employ them. When woodpecker appears, realign with what matters most to you. Realize that you can answer the door because opportunity is knocking. Listen at that. Woodpecker wants you to know you are in charge of the way you respond to your reality. You can change directions, choose a new path, and meet opportunities and challenges with creativity or surrender. Very much confirming everything that we've already seen out here today. Meadowlark superpowers: hope, strength, momentum, resilience, self-expression, having a cheery disposition, enchanting loved ones and strangers alike. Meadowlark wisdom: if you're having trouble seeing the bright side, go look in a mirror. There it is, and there you are. When Meadowlark appears, what's been feeling heavy recently? Can you change anything about it? Conversely, what's been bringing you great joy? Can you cultivate more of that? Meadowlark wants you to know you've got this. Sometimes it might feel like you don't, but you actually do. And you are one of the brightest spots in the world to more people than you realize. So, don't let stress and anxiety dim your light. You know, going back to what we talked about in the very beginning, you know, being able to find joy and happiness in the little moments, even during those times of, those difficult times, the times of trial and tribulation, grief, anger, whatever. All right. Finally made it to the end. Mary Magdalene. Last time we got the cross, number 34. Faith, hope, and love endure. And the greatest of these is love. When all else fails, just act out of love. All right, Mary, Mary, full of grace, what advice can you give us today? Whoa, that was way too many. Beloved, Mary Magdalene, Judgment, and the Rose. We will not keep them, but I at least wanted to acknowledge them. Stand closer to the desk. Wow. Maybe I should have kept those. The red thread. Good recognizes good. We got testimony. Love is stronger than death on the bottom of the deck. And golden light. Healing comes from within on the top of the deck. All right, the red thread. Oh, and this is not numbered. The red thread. Good recognizes good. Okay, I'm gonna... All right. It's hard to remember what we have never been taught. It takes trusting our own intuition, our own heart. It takes learning how to listen to what the soul whispers to us. when we can get still enough, free enough from the distracting chaos of our everyday life. It's a mystery to me what allows us to remember the good, and I trust it always will be. Maybe it's blood memory. Maybe it's encoded somewhere in the soul or in the heart of what it means to be human. Good recognizes good. I was first given a red thread by a shaman when I saw her for the first time. The only accurate way to describe it is that I recognized her. The red thread is about remembering the good within ourselves and each other. And the red thread is about recognizing those who are walking with us to remind us that we are here together to be the good. It's worn on the left wrist, the feminine side of the body, to acknowledge that it's the feminine within each of us that receives spirit from within. The red thread is for those of us who are devoted to returning again and again to the heart, who listen to what the heart knows and then do whatever we can to put that knowing into action. Mary Magdalene anointed Christ before he was crucified. Mary made anointing the most sacred ritual in the Christian tradition. Mary was given secret teachings from Christ because his love for her was extraordinary. Mary's gospel was buried and forgotten for millennia. This is why I wear the red thread. It's hard to remember something you have never been taught, but I do this in memory of her. I do this because the good can never be lost. The soul voice meditation. What do I know in this moment that no one ever taught me? What's something that you just know in your soul? And it doesn't matter what anybody else says or does, it won't change how you feel or what you think. There's a reason for all of that. Well, I've enjoyed this test session today. I will admit that I can feel it right here in my sides. So it's been a great session, I feel. Although I will say I am tired. That wore me out. So we may not do it this way every time, but it's at least now an option. All right, as always, be grateful for what you have, the big, the small, and the blessings yet to come. If you see a need out there today, tomorrow, next week, if there's any possible way that you can fill that need, please do so. You may not only better their day, but you could possibly change their life. And you never know the impact it can have on yours. Be blessed, stay safe, find peace, and I'll see you next time.